If you're a woman over 40 and you're trying to build something online, say it's a consulting business, a course, a service, or a second income stream, you might feel like the internet is speaking a completely different language. Everyone always says, post more, start a brand, go viral, build funnels. And meanwhile, you're sitting there thinking, I have 20 years of experience, but how do I turn that into something that people will actually pay me for? Well, the good news is this. Successful personal brands, particularly for women who are in midlife, are not random. They actually follow patterns. And the patterns that I see working over and over again, especially for women over 40 who are building income from their experience, have very little to do with trends. They have everything to do with clarity, however. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through 12 patterns that I see in successful midlife personal brands and how they apply specifically to women who want to turn their experience into income. But before we get into it, allow me to introduce myself. Hey, friend, my name is Quinn, and I am on a mission to help women in midlife create more freedom, more ownership, and opportunity for themselves by turning their existing skills and experience into smart, purpose driven income streams. So, here's the first pattern that I see in successful midlife personal brands and how they apply specifically to women who want to turn their experience into income. The number one thing is they repeat themselves on purpose. One of the biggest mistakes that smart women make online is thinking they need to say something new every single day. You don't. Strong personal brands repeat their messaging on purpose. They say the same idea in different ways until people can actually repeat it back to them. For example, if you follow me for a while, you'll hear me say things like experience turns into an offer and an offer turns into income. That is the pattern for me. Your experience is not the problem. How you translate it might be. Because the women that I work with don't need reinvention, they need positioning. When your message becomes simple and repeatable, people start remembering it. And when people start remembering it, they start trusting it. The second thing is they show their work publicly. A lot of women in midlife feel like they have to figure it out first before they start talking about their work. But strong brands do the exact opposite. They show the process, they show what they're testing, what worked, what didn't work, what they're learning. And people trust transparency more than they trust perfection, especially right now because the internet is full of polished success stories, but people want to see the real work behind the results that you're getting. The third thing is they stay consistent with their message. You always know what a strong brand stands for. Their message does not jump around. One day it's productivity, the next day it's wellness, the day after that it's mindset, then crypto. No, successful personal brands own a lane. And for Sister Lady Girl, that lane is very simple. It's helping women in midlife turn experience into income. Everything I teach connects back to that. Clarity of message builds trust faster than volume of content every single time. The fourth thing is they share very strong opinions. Strong brands are not neutral, they have opinions. For example, I believe a lot of online business advice does not work for midlife women. It was designed for people with fewer responsibilities than we have, people who are earlier in their careers than we are, and people chasing speed instead of sustainability. My belief is different. Midlife women don't need hustle culture. We don't thrive in that kind of environment. Instead, we need structure, we need positioning, and we need clear offers. Strong opinions attract the right audience and repel the wrong one. And you know what? That is a very good thing. The fifth thing that they do is they invest in their image. Your brand is visual, whether you plan it that way or not. People notice your photos, how you present yourself, your overall presence online. And this doesn't mean that you have to be perfect, it just means that you need to be intentional. because clear visuals, they signal credibility, and credibility matters when you're asking someone to trust you with their time, attention, as well as their money. The sixth thing is they build around one clear message. And this one is huge. Most people talk about too many things. Successful personal brands build around one core idea. For example, your core idea might be helping teachers transition into consulting, or helping women use AI in their small businesses, helping corporate professionals turn leadership experience into coaching. But you'll notice that it's always one lane, and that depth builds authority. Scattered messaging creates confusion. Number seven is they make their story part of the overall strategy. Your story is not decoration, it is actual strategy, especially for women over 40, because your credibility comes from lived experience. Your career, your leadership, your lessons, those experiences become proof. People don't connect to your resume, they connect to your journey. The moment you start telling the story behind what you know, people understand why you are the person who is teaching it. Number eight is they share lived experience, not just trends. Right now, the internet is moving so fast. Every week, there seems to be a new strategy, a new platform, a new tip or trick. But the most trusted voices online talk about what they already have done, not just what is trending. Your experience is an advantage. And at this stage of the game, you have pattern recognition. You have professional judgment, you have real world lessons that you have learned and that you can teach. And that depth is what makes midlife expertise so powerful. Number nine, they stand for something specific. Strong brands have a point of view. They know what they believe, and you know what they disagree with. For example, I believe women in midlife should stop trying to start over and start translating what they already know into income. That belief shapes everything that I teach. So when people know what you stand for, they either lean in or they move on. Number 10, they teach frameworks, not just tips and tricks. Tips are helpful, don't get me wrong, but frameworks, they build authority. A framework helps someone understand how something works step by step. For example, instead of random content ideas, you might teach a simple framework like experience leads to an offer, leads to content that leads to income. Frameworks make your knowledge easier to understand and easier to teach, which makes people see you as the expert. Number 11, they treat their brands like a business. Successful personal brands, especially for women in midlife, are not just hobbies. They are actual bona fide businesses. And that means showing up with intention, creating systems, planning your content, following up with your leads. You don't have to post every day, but you do need structure. Consistency builds trust. Number 12, they are patient with the process. This is the part that most people skip. Strong brands are built over time. They are not chasing shortcuts. They understand something really important, and that is that trust compounds. The more people hear your voice and your message, see your thinking, and watch your work, the more credibility that you're able to build. And credibility is what turns into clients. When these patterns are in place, something really powerful happens. People start remembering your message. They trust your process. They recognize your voice. They respect your positioning. And eventually, they start seeing you as the leader in your space, not because you chase trends, but because you built clarity. So, if you are a woman in midlife and you're watching this and you're thinking, I know I have experience, I just don't know how to turn it into something people will actually pay for, I created something super simple to help you with that. It's a short guided prompt that helps you identify your most marketable capabilities so you can create an income stream that gets you paid. If you've ever stared at your resume trying to figure out what you could actually sell, this tool is exactly what you need. This is not about finding a new passion. This is about naming the value that you already carry. In less than 10 minutes, this prompt is going to help you identify your portable skills and not just your job titles. It's going to turn your lived experience into clear, sellable language. It's going to help you walk away with clarity that you can actually use. And it's just a simple process to help you clearly say, this is what I do, this is who I help, and this is the outcome that I create. This is for you if you are a woman in midlife who knows you have experience, but you haven't figured out how to translate it into income yet. So, this is a fast, practical starting point for you to do that. I created it after my own corporate layoff because I realized something super important. A resume does not tell A resume does not tell you what you can sell. Experience doesn't automatically become income. Structure does. So if you want to try it, you can grab it in the description below. If this video helped you start thinking differently about your experience, make sure you hit that like button, share it with someone that you know this could help, and most importantly, make sure you subscribe. Because around here, we don't start over. We build from what we already know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.